Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Stockradar Stocks on the Move for another week. Today's date is the 31st of July 2025. My name is Richard Lee and I manage the stockradar.com.au website for you. Okay, mines and health stocks running hot. Well, they are. We've got a few stocks on alert at the moment. We know Rio didn't report that well yesterday. I sort of didn't report that well. For the short term, the long term didn't look too bad. Dividend was cut, which is disappointing. But we look at the prices of these stocks. So we're going to have a focus on a couple of these miners later on and just see what they're saying as far as the price action goes. Okay, so lots of stocks running hot at the moment. Make sure you stay cool and make cool decisions and don't get carried away. Always maintain your poise. When you feel like you're getting a bit excited, pull yourself back, keep it cool, keep poised and focus on what you're trying to do, the job at hand. Okay, so first let's go to the trend intensity ratings this week. Okay, 360's gone straight to the top. EBO, amazingly enough, is rating a 10 at the moment. Linus is doing well. Newmont's doing very well. Neuron Pharmaceuticals is back on the winner's circle. Have a look at that chart later on. Oracle's doing well. ResMed's jumped in. Lottery Corp, as we know, has jumped in. And we've got ALQ and Dow also doing well in the top 10 there. So there's some good stocks there. We continue in pharmaceuticals there. I think I'm going to have a look at that a bit later on. No, maybe not. We'll just have a look at it now. It's rating a 10. We can see the downtrend here. We've dropped about 63% here. The market has now seen a slow turn off a big support level down here. We've got the low here, high low here. We've got a reversal point here. A little switch zone through there with a downtrend line and moving average come. So we've got some fairly good confirmation there. And then we can also see down there some good volume expansion. So after a big correction for Neuron Pharmaceuticals, as opposed to Telix Pharmaceuticals, which is actually on the way down, we'll have a look at that one later on. Neuron seems to be back on the upside, and we can see momentum is also kicking higher there. So all things are positive there for Neuron, and so it's rating a 10 and is in the top 10 at the moment. Okay, now stock picks, flat at 54 stock picks. We've put 3 in this week and we've taken 3 out. So we're always looking to take a profit. Maybe stop loss goes off, but we're always adding new stocks as well all the time. So we've got 3 new stocks for members this week. Okay, now let's get to the overseas markets. Our portfolios are all full as you would expect at the moment. We've had a couple one or two come in and out there as we took some bit of profit, I think on Sol, and we've had another one in there. So that's the portfolios are all, as they're running well. We are catching the wave. The market's strong, so we've got to ride this wave as best we can. But be careful as to what's happening. It's not the whole market. It's 54 stock picks of 160. Okay, so let's go to the Dow and have a look and see what the Dow's looking like. Again, it still hasn't broken through the high. S&P and Nasdaq have, but the Dow's just sort of bumped along there. Again, it's a 30 stock index. It's as much narrower, but it's a sentiment thing for us all. So we'd like to see it through. But again, you see, sales have halted the gains there. A couple of red bars there, stopped the market. Momentum's positive. It's above the average. So things are still biased to the upside. We just need to break this level, which is up around 44,860. Basis the Dow. Okay, now the S&P is broken through and it looks fine. Volume's okay there. Nasdaq, similar picture there. It's also making new highs and looking fine there. So the indices are okay. Our market itself is starting to establish itself above the highs. I thought yesterday's market was pretty good. We had the CPI figure come out and we're all now looking for interest rate cuts. But even the day before, the market was quite strong. It finished quite strongly. So there's an underlying support for this market at the moment. And as I said, some of these miners, some of these health stocks, and a smattering of other stocks are starting to look very, very juicy. Okay, so that's the ASX 200, which looks fine at the moment, and it's making new highs. Momentum is very good there. Gold, no real change there. It's just bumping higher. Can't quite get through this resistance up around 345, but it's 3455. But it's holding up pretty well. We had a bit of a acceleration here. Momentum's still good. Moving average is still pretty good, so I don't think there's too much worry at the moment. Well, there's nothing to me saying I should be worried at this stage. So it looks fine. Copper. Now, I think we might have had a little bit of a pullback on that last night, but it's looking okay. It's still above this resistance level. It can still pull back to there and be fine. It had a huge jump through there, so the copper looks like okay to me. Brent crude, we're sort of erring on maybe this is going to have a go, possibly. So we're keeping an eye on crude. We've had a good jump up yesterday. I don't know what it did last night. the fragility of a turning market. So we've got this big bump up and a big jump down, but you can see the volumes going through there, which is quite good. And that means there's interest, there's buying interest there at the moment. So we may have seen a low. Whether we're going to get a rally or not, we'd really like to see it through. There's probably these couple of highs up around here to really sort of convince ourselves that the R2 might be a possibility, which is up around 93, 94 bucks. So that's basis Brent crude. So it looks okay, volume's okay, momentum's struggling, but it's still moving towards the zero level, telling us selling pressures are starting to ease. So there's a bit of hope there for crude traders there. Okay, now to get to some of the stocks we're going to look at today. Okay, Challenger, which we looked at last week, it had a bump down this week, came back support and held, and has jumped up again. So a little bit volatile there, but we know the big picture here. We saw this last week, a big trading range there, where it's broken out of, on some great volume down there, and momentum is good. So it's looking pretty good to me, Challenger. Still rating a 10 to me, so the picture is still pretty strong there, and looking good for a move towards R1 at some stage. Okay, so that is Challenger, which we did look at last week. I just wanted to update you on how we're looking after a little bit of a drop last week. Okay, again, we're going to go back to Telstra again. I like the solid stocks, the ones that just keep going up and up and up, and we follow these stocks, and then maybe they're not that exciting, but they are making money for us, and that's important. So Telstra's up, making new highs, up nearly hit $5 now. It was 340 about just over a year ago. And so it's had a pretty good rise, and it does yield a little bit, but certainly has turned the corner, broken some good resistance there, trend intensity rating of 9. So we just hold this one and follow this one with our stop loss, which is our modus operandi. Okay, so again, you can see here there's beautiful volume here, which has really been pushing a good trend here, which means there's been some very solid demand, and there's probably a lot of things we don't know about this stock happening at the moment, but I would think because it's such a big stock, working in a very interesting area of telcos, maybe even AI, that there's probably some good news ahead for Telstra, and that's what the price is telling me at the moment. So hang on to that one. It's going nicely. A couple of stocks I want to have a look at that they've been exciting stocks, but they've just taken a bit of a break recently. The first one is JB Hi-Fi, which we saw a break to new highs here back in May, and it jumped up, but it sort of drifted a little bit. So we had this bit of impulse move, and now we're getting this drift, which is what I'd like to see when a bull market when a bull market in a stock is happening. So, excuse me, when this does happen, no real sellings hit the stock, although there was a big bar here, but didn't really dump the stock down too much. So still holding up relatively well there, JB Hi-Fi. So we'll just keep an eye on this one. Now I'm just wondering if this is up to date, because I think yesterday we had a bit of a kick high. But anyway, the trend intensity rating is 7. It's an impulse drift, still on the bull side. We're still holding above our stop. Know where you stop, because that's important. But the price is holding at the moment, despite a little bit of selling here, a little bit of drift in price. Not too concerned at the moment. Similarly, Technology One. Another exciting stock which has had an amazing run lately. It's had a big, huge impulse move up here from April through to June, and most of June, July, it's just drifted along here. No real selling, although there has been some selling. It hasn't dented the price, which means there's been plenty of buying as well. So we've got this impulse and drift pattern again. We just like to see it up through this little downtrend line to kick this market higher again. So it still looks okay. These are stocks that you don't really want to worry about because they haven't said anything to you yet. They're saying the market is still high, it's still above your stop. All the indicators are still fine, the trend's intact. So hang on to these stocks because they're just as likely to do this sort of pattern again at some stage because they're such good quality stocks. So that's JB Hi-Fi Technology One. I want to look at a couple of miners or materials stocks for you. First, I want to look at Woodside Energy, which is been a little bit of a funny stock for a long time. It's come down an awfully long way, $40 down to $20 over the last couple of years. We saw a good rally earlier this year. It's come back. It's hit a higher low. It's now rallying back towards the highs. And so we've got the market's pushed through this switch zone here with the downtrend line and the moving average line. That's a positive sign. We've got some good volume pushing this market. So I'm really looking up here to trend reversal level around about 27.20. The trend intensity rating has moved to minus 3 from minus levels into the neutral zone, and now we look for it to move into the positive zone. So we're really just looking for this level to break to give us a signal that this may well move higher. We had some good volume there last week on a good rally. So it's looking better, Woodside, which is encouraging for some. And as I looked at before with the Brent, it's also looking a bit better. So there's a bit of confluence of indicators there saying we might get a bit of a rally here. So keep an eye on Woodside. It's looking interesting at the moment. Okay, another one I want to look at is Fortescue. Haven't looked at this one for a while, but we're now starting getting some bit of move up in this one. It started to rally off there. Iron ore's improved a little bit without being outrageous, but we're seeing the stock now. It's now sort of had a little double bottom down here and a little rally here. And we've seen some nice volume start to push this stock higher, which is the first time we've seen any of that for a while. It's been mainly red bars and selling, apart from this one back here, which didn't last too long. But we haven't really got anything yet until we get through this congestion zone. There's a fairly clear area here between about $18 and about $20 there with congestion. I'd really like to see it through there before we get too excited. So we've got the moving average break and the trend line break. We've got the volume. The pressures are easing on the downside for sure. So we're starting to get this slow turn. Trend intensity rating is still -4. So we've got a little bit of work to do yet, but it's certainly worth watching and stick on your radar. Also yields very nicely, this one as well. So so there's a couple of materials, mining stocks, energy stocks for you to have a look at. There's a few other miners that I'm looking at the moment. If I look at that, I've got three metals and mining stocks, not besides FMG, that are looking to break up at the moment. I've also got some health stocks there that we saw ResMed jump in last week. I've also got three other ones there that are looking to be, they're ready and ripe to run in the health sector there. Go to the trading centre to check those out, as well as the mining stocks there. Got a consumer discretionary stock, a transport stock, a diversified financial stock, a couple of those, and also a consumer and commercial services stock, one which had a big rally. It's had a nice little correction now, and it's looking ripe and ready to go. So check that one out in the trading centre for that stock on the move there. Okay, now let's just go to a couple of other stocks I want to have a look at, which really, they have been exciting stocks, but they've sort of gone nowhere really now for a while. So first we look at NextDC. It's had a huge rally there, $8 to 18. It's come back to 9. It did the whole thing back again, and it's now rallied. A reasonable volume there. Moving averages back towards 0. We're really heading into the neutral zone. This is still -5, so it's not quite there yet, but we're sort of halfway between the lows and the highs here, and it really doesn't know what to do as far as I can see. It's holding these gains, but we've got a fair bit of work to do above here yet. So again, trying to look at the step back, take a big deep breath. NextDC is an exciting stock, but for the moment the price is not telling me that it wants to go higher at the moment, significantly anyway. So I'm just holding my fire on these stocks, and that's what I do when I have a picture like this, which is a bit uncertain. So we're in the neutral zone for NextDC, and we just wait and we watch that one. And this is a health stock that's perhaps not doing so well. This is a smaller one, Telix Pharmaceuticals, which also had a huge run, and it was a very profitable run for us, but we did get stopped out of this one up around $26. It had another go at the highs, as we can see there, and failed, and it's now dropped down pretty badly here, and we're starting to see the sellers starting to push this stock. Momentum's gone right out of it. So Telix Pharmaceuticals, again, an exciting stock, but not really on my radar at the moment. It looks like, we saw NextDC come from $18 back to 9. This can come from 30 back to 15 without much trouble. That's what they do, some of these stocks, some of these big stocks, these growth stocks. They do move a lot, so you've got to be very, very careful. And again, the message is pretty clear there. Stand aside, it's falling at the moment. Okay, so that's Telix Pharmaceuticals for you. So that's most of the stocks I want to go through for you today. There's plenty of good stocks out there at the moment. Go to the trading centre to check them out because it's an exciting time in the market, and portfolios are full. Everything's going well. Won't last forever, but while the sun's shining, we make hay, and we make sure we catch that wave while it's running. Okay, so I want to go to a couple of slides for, next, just one of them really. It's really about state of mind, it's really a bit about what I said in the opening there, at the top there. Bull markets, your state of mind is important. And it is important because when markets run hot or when they're dumping down, we get into a really different state of mind. We get a very greedy state of mind. We get into a very fearful state of mind. Fear paralyses us. Greed makes us do reckless things. So we've just got to control that sort of thing. So at the moment, a state of mind in a bull market of 54 stocks of 160, and the ASX is still making new highs. So realistically, we are in a bull market, but you've got to be responsive. So when you get the signals, and lots of signals coming, I've had 3 in, 3 out last week, signals coming, be responsive. Don't procrastinate. Don't sit in your fingers. When you get the signal, behave, because that's why you have a system, and that's why it tells you what to do, okay? You just got to do it. Get rid of all those emotions, get rid of all those worries, get rid of all those things what other people say, respond to your trade plan as it tells you. So don't procrastinate. But be astute. So make sure your decisions are all evidence-based, based on what you think is right. I base them on price, I base them on volume, I base them on moving averages, I base them on momentum. That's what I use. That's all I need to use. I don't look at other things because that tells me what price is going to do, and that's what I analyse. Okay, so the evidence must be evidence-based. So be astute and be measured. Okay, assess sensibly, not emotionally, as I said. So just keep your focus on what you've actually got in front of you, and don't worry about other things. Their emotions are really very ineffectual when you're trading the stock market, okay? So there's just a few words of wisdom for you when you're trading these markets. There's good money to be made at the moment. Just got to be smart about it, okay? So that's about all I've got for you today. The newsletter will probably come out later on today. Always go to the trading centre to check out opportunities, look in those neutral zones for opportunities that are coming, stocks that are moving from the downtrend zone into the neutral zone. And there's plenty of stocks doing it at the moment. As I mentioned to you, there's metals and miners, there's health stocks, there's a whole lot of them there at the moment for you to have a look at. Okay, so there's my disclaimer for you, and that's really about it. Miners and health stocks running hot, and there's plenty of opportunities for you today. So cool heads will make the cool decisions, as we always know. Always behave the same way, that whether the bulls are roaring or whether the bears are growling, and it's really, really important to do that, okay? So make sure you do that. So in the meantime, watch your trends, heed your stops, keep it simple, have fun, stay safe, and I will see you all next week. Thanks very much.